Here we are at STEP Conference 2023, where we are doing the Change Officer podcast. The Change Officer podcast bring people who make the change in their lives, in the business. And I'm very glad that we have Vijay from Techstars, who made the change in the ecosystem of startups in the MENA region. Vijay, hello and welcome to our podcast.
Hi, Ivan. Great to be here.
Vijay, you are one of the most wanted people here. This is why you wear glasses. Oh, wait, I have to wear glasses also now.
Well,
okay, let's do it the same
aside
way.
the fact that it's beautiful sunny weather here in Dubai.
Yeah.
I try to be incognito. That's what you mean.
Yes. A lot of people, you know Vijay. Yeah, everybody knows Vijay from Techstars. So, what do you do at the conferences like STEP conference?
Well,
today?
firstly, that's very kind of you to say that. Look, I've been a big fan of STEP. I've been here the last 6 editions, I would say, ever since I landed in Dubai. And what STEP brings to me is basically the wonderful ecosystem of the community, whether it's startup founders, investors, the mentors, and also I think the energy is very positive in terms of its vibe and the communications, the culture. It's not a very stiff conference as you would imagine. So I love it. I love coming out here. It's in the outdoors and you kind of enjoy interacting with people.
I'm sure the organizers of STEP would always like to have more and more people, but I think the number of people here is also amazing. You have time to meet people, you have time to see people, to recognize someone again and talk and discuss. And
totally.
So.
I think you hit on the nail on his head, because I think what I like about this, it's got a little bit more village feel to it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's just the right people, the right quality of people that you are relevant. It's not one of those large, supersized trade shows. You kind of get lost in the mix. And I think that's very helpful, because I can feel that it's not pressure to go around talking to people, have decent conversations. And that's what I think is really enjoyable.
Yes, as we are enjoying here the really nice weather, we are outside, as you said, although the sun is shining and it's not that hot under this nice Podster umbrella. I'm sure that all the people in the startup industry know both Techstars and Vijay, but can we have a little bit of introspection and introduction of who the Vijay is and who the Techstars are?
So I've been a entrepreneur for the last 30 years. Built 7 businesses, mostly out of Southeast Asia, and in different varieties of industries, from manufacturing, fashion retail, to venture capital, property development, events production, and so on. And I had the privilege of really working with peoples around the world in terms of where my distribution networks were, customers, and so on. So I had built a lot of battle scars, if you like, in that journey.
You have scars to prove it.
But one of the things that I think has led me to this inflection point in my life is the joy of working with other entrepreneurs. And I've been a member of an organization for a very long time. I'm talking about 25 years. That's called the Entrepreneurs Organization, which is a peer-to-peer network of entrepreneurs. And I was very privileged to serve as a CEO based out of Washington, D.C., to build that organization to what it is today, which has 20,000 members, 20,000 entrepreneurs around the world in 200 cities, I should say. And that what is really brought to mind for me is the resilience of entrepreneurs in every culture around the world. And I said, what can I do to keep the path of lifelong learning? The thirst for hunger of learning is to be in the trenches with the entrepreneurs rather than serving them. So what I mean by being in the trenches is really have skin in the game. So invest with them, right? Co-invest with them. And that brought me to Techstars about 6 years ago, which I think it's a dream job of what I'm doing today. And it's really about, I have this unique hybrid of being the entrepreneur in disguise,
Mhm.
and also being the investor on the other side, but really helping these entrepreneurs to kind of develop their very nascent business to grow and scale. And to see that, Ivan, it's just, I tell you, it's a wonderful thing. It's like seeing a little baby growing up and, going through all the teenage problems that they have and then become a fully grown adult. You can imagine that's a very exciting thing.
Exactly. You're like an uncle, like you're not, they have their parents and whatever, but you're like an uncle and you're happy with them when they grow.
I got funny names thrown at me, chief mentor, guru, Yoda. It's just funny, right? Yeah. But just on Techstars, I think it's an incredible organization that has started with a vision with 4 co-founders back in 2007 with the idea of angel investing. And through that idea of angel investing, they figured the best way is not throw money at entrepreneurs, but to build a program that can accelerate their growth. And so the idea of Accelerator came about late in 2007, 2008 with Techstars. And with that idea, which started in Boulder, Colorado, has today grown to a community of 20,000 people around the world. And these programs that we today run, we have close to about 55 programs running right now in I would say 20 cities around the world. And we've done 300 of these programs. To give you a perspective, Ivan, let me just drop some data points for you to kind of ingest this idea. So over the last 16, 17 years, we've invested close to 4,000 companies. Last year alone, we've invested in 600 companies. This year, our plan is to take it up to 800 investments. We're already the world's largest investors in some categories, for example, defense, space, sustainability, fintech, mobility, at the very early stage. So as an investment company, we are focusing purely at pre-seed. We think pre-seed is the most difficult space to be in because,
make it a risk.
Yeah, I mean, look, there isn't much financials to go by, right? So very, very often it's an MVP, it's an idea, 2 founders trying to figure out things out. They really haven't got a business, to be honest. Yet, we come forward and we say, look, we believe in your vision. We believe that you have incredible insights to the problem out there that you're trying to solve. And we believe that the planet Earth needs entrepreneurs to change for us to have a better world, a better planet, and to make lives of humankind much better. And I think that what's missing in that is they need to have a lot of support. And I mean support in 3 things. Number 1, of course, access to capital, which is what people think of us as. Yeah. But number 2, they need access to tools and resources. So we typically bring about, I want to say, between 80 to 100 mentors in a 3-month program that we run at Techstars for these companies to go through, in which very quickly, what takes a company maybe 18 months to kind of get from point A to B, they achieve that in 3 months, very rapidly. Oh. And that rapid idea of, you throw out your hypothesis or you beta test your product, you get quick signals and feedback as to what needs to be iterated, and then you kind of apply those changes very quickly, and you go out in the market again. And so that rapid acceleration is truly what the Accelerator program really means, is the key difference of why these companies continue to do well and survive. Here's a mind-blowing idea, Ivan. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What percentage of companies do you think will fail in the first 3 years of their startup life?
50 maybe.
50? Well, let me give you a shocking number. Close to 90%.
90%?
90%. And here's the most interesting fact.
Why?
Well, I'll answer it differently.
Yeah.
At Techstars, the companies that we've invested so far, the failure rate is about 15%. In other words, inversely proportionate. The 85 companies continue to thrive and succeed. Then the question is why? Because early stage entrepreneurs, the 3 reasons that they go out of business. Number 1, they run out of cash. They have poor product market fit. And often they have co-founder issues. And so when you address those things early on through a program and through a partner like Techstars, we very quickly get those dynamics in place, allowing them to for a better success. But I'll go further, because you see, the relationship that you as a founder will have with me, Vijay, the managing director at Techstars, is one of a co-founder relationship. I invest with you, I take 6% equity in your business, but you know you have me like a co-founder who will help you in your journey for a lifetime support.
I can confirm as a founder of several ventures, there are always so many questions to be asked. And if you have a resource to ask someone that question, nothing else, maybe even the funding is not as important, to have a right answer at the right time and not waste 6 months or a year of a life cycle of a product. So that is, I would say...
Totally. I mean, I get on a daily basis, every night, a WhatsApp, a voice note, say, hey Vijay, I need to make this decision. I've got the offer on the table. Should I negotiate? Should I take it? This is a term sheet conversation. I've got one of my biggest clients, and this is real right now.
Yeah.
I just had this conversation early this morning, not paying me. Do I take a legal action to go that? So we walked through those issues this morning, and a long email has gone out to the parties concerned through their lawyers to initiate a legal action. The point is, I'm not the subject matter expert, Ivan. I'll be very honest with you. But what they're really looking for is a trusted individual to have that space to say, look, I've really got these issues. Who can I trust and have that conversation that will guide me in the interest that's aligned with me, right? That is really where founders look for, and they have someone that they don't have to go to bed lonely and saying, you have the expression, it's lonely at the top, right? Yeah. But they don't have to go back lonely. They have a friend, a mentor they can call up in the morning or the night saying, hey Vijay, what's your take on this? And often I may not have the answers. I say, look, I have in my Rolodex 12,000 people. I can guide you somewhere to have that conversation with. And so that's a beautiful thing. And it gives me a lot of joy and gratitude to be of service to the community.
Vijay, when Žarko, our dear friend, introduced us some time ago, he said, "Oh, this is Vijay from Techstars." That's it. That's it. What he said, and he's the man. Then around this conference and around North Star and other conferences that we met, people are just saying, Vijay from Techstars, Vijay from Techstars, and it's let's say, I would not say it like a personal brand, but it's a brand like coming together. And now after this conversation, I not only also became, I'm already a fan of yours, but I became to understand how it came to that point, because everything comes down to the human touch. Everything comes down to the when you are lonely, not being lonely in some decisions, in some directions, and and those questions are key. Can be some very minor question, whatever, but it drives you mad for months, maybe as a founder, and then you have somebody to lean on. And I think
Ivan, you're too kind with your words, but you touched on something really interesting. I think often when you go to like the stage behind you, there is a panel and an experience is being shared, or a pitch, but it's about the company. But what is the untold story? The untold story is behind the scenes, the backstory of the founder's journey and life journey, right? That is often doesn't come too public. And so I have the unique position to work with these founders behind the scenes. I know what they're going through personally. And we become good friends. We become lifelong friends in many cases. And that partnership prevails not just because we are an investor in the company. So there's not that investor-investee relationship. It's not a professional relationship. We almost instantly become lifelong friends. And so and it's because that trust has been, and the trust and bond has been built in the process. And so I think, when founders generally look towards me, is saying, look, how do I raise $2 million for a seed round? that might be the standard questions I often get. But what is not spoken about is, hey, I can't put food on the table. And how do I tell this to my co-founder? Because if we're trying to be frugal and we're trying to cut down costs and we're not taking, but he's got some savings, I don't. How do I start that conversation with him so he doesn't feel that our interest is not aligned? That's a difficult one, Ivan.
Yeah.
Right? But
been there.
You've been there,
Yeah.
right? You can, but that's real. And so you have to sit down one evening and have over coffee and calm him down and say, look, okay, it's all about perspectives, right? And you just kind of walk through the motions, what's practical and what's not practical, and you support the person. So a lot of it is a support. So I think, when you talk about Vijay, Techstars, we have the business side of it that I'm very proud that we can talk about, but there's also the backstory, the personal side, the untold stories. That is why it gives me the joy of being in this role. A lot of gratitude.
Vijay, I would like to meet much more with the mics in the podcast and off the podcast, and to learn from you and also hear those untold stories, because these untold stories would help the people, the future generations of, being able and not afraid to step in. You see, this is a plug.
That's
for
right.
the step to step into the world of entrepreneurship.
Well, it's definitely, I'll take you on.
Yeah.
It's a bet. Thank you very much for having me here. It's such a pleasure. And
Vijay, really.
by the way, you should know this. I think I don't hear much of your podcast, but I've seen you in action.
Yeah.
But congratulations for what you do, because you are basically disseminating a lot of good knowledge and good energy to the community. People want to be hearing, it's tough being an entrepreneur, and you give the energy of trying to uplift them in their journey. So thank you very much for doing this great
Vijay,
job.
I have to tell you a secret.
Yes.
Do you know how I do it? Exactly the same like you. I'm not thinking about our conversation filmed on the camera.
Yeah.
I just want to know more about Vijay, and because everybody has a story to tell. Even a Vijay who is a brand and everybody knows Vijay here, whatever, they don't know the story behind Vijay. And what I do is just what you are doing with the startups. I ask questions, and we are my skin in the game, as you said.
Yes.
My 6% here.
Yes.
But because probably 94% of the this podcast, it will be your face. This camera shooting you this way, this camera is better than that one, because you will be 94. My skin in the game is 6%, and my skin in the game is, okay, we have to look good, we have to have the good energy. Let's find out something about this person, let's empathize and be there, So I think that there's a lot of...
I love it. There's a lot of course, mutual love and benefit. Thank you very much,
Thank
Ivan.
you.
It's a pleasure.
Have a nice conference, and see you around here and there,
Step in.
Step into the STEP conference. Vijay, thank you very much. And of course, you're in front of the camera. And I like to read here. Just share, like, and subscribe.